Ukraine has proven to the international community, which still fears Russian nuclear weapons, that it can significantly impact the capabilities of the Russian Federation's nuclear triad. The destruction of one Oreshnik missile system is evidence of this. Aviation expert Anatoly Khrapchinsky, Deputy General Director of the Electronic Warfare Equipment Manufacturing Company, said this on Radio NV. In particular, the expert commented on SBU head Vasyl Malyuk's statement about the destruction of Oreshnik in the summer of 2023. If we're talking about Kapustin Yar, there were multiple hits there in 2023, 2024 and 2025. So in any case, we hit something there in Kapustin Yar. Khrapchinsky is convinced. At the same time, according to him, there is no public information. But it must be taken into account that at that testing ground, there are mobile launchers for the Topol and Yars missile systems in constant operation, in addition to stationary installations and the Mayak-1 and Mayak-2 underground silos. There's such a wide range of assets that are permanently deployed. There are test rigs. So in principle, if we flew drones there, we could destroy something, the expert believes. He admits that the Ukrainian strikes could have affected the possibility of postponing some tests. The fact that there have been confirmed strikes already indicates that we can significantly influence the Russian Federation's capabilities in the nuclear triad, Khrapchinsky emphasized. He noted that Russia is not capable of protecting even strategic facilities on its territory. I constantly emphasize this is an important avenue for international cooperation for Ukraine. We're demonstrating that Russia is incapable of protecting its nuclear weapons. So maybe we should take them away from them? And that's the most important argument in this regard, the expert noted. He added that Ukraine carried out these strikes thanks to the capabilities of its domestic drones. Believe me, our Western partners wouldn't allow us to use something like that to attack what they fear. The world, the United States and Europe still fear Russia's nuclear weapons, even though it's such a glamorous element that Russia constantly exploits, Khrapchinsky added. As reported, the head of the security service of Ukraine, Vasyl Malyuk, revealed for the first time that one of the 3 Oreshnik missiles was destroyed in a successful mission in the summer of 2023. We've never publicly disclosed this before, but we can say that one of the 3 Oreshnik units was successfully destroyed on their territory at Kapustin Yar by forces from the GUR, SBU and SVR. It was a very successful mission. The destruction was 100%. It was a very successful operation and it wasn't publicized at the time. It was reported exclusively to the President of Ukraine, and several presidents of other countries also knew about it. This was at a time when the name Oreshnik wasn't widely used, and the Russians weren't particularly threatening them at the time. If I'm not mistaken, this was the summer before last, Malyuk said. Voices of discontent are increasingly being heard in Russia, even within the military. Among the military, both active and retired, frustration is growing over Vladimir Putin's failed strategy in the war against Ukraine. Many generals believe that the Kremlin's actions are not only leading to disaster at the front, but are also destroying the very state. The National Security Journal reports this. Even before the invasion began in February 2022, retired Colonel General Leonid Ivashov, the former head of the All-Russian Officers' Assembly, sounded the alarm. He publicly called on Putin to resign, warning that the real threat to Russia was not NATO, but corruption, a demographic crisis, and incompetent leadership. After the war began, Ivashov only intensified his criticism, declaring that the conflict with Ukraine would lead to the destruction of Russian statehood and mass casualties. In December 2024, the general compared Putin's regime to that of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad, noting that the Kremlin was heading down the same path toward internal collapse and international isolation. According to him, Russia was turning into a besieged fortress where decisions were being made not by military professionals but by people out of touch with reality. TNSJ sources emphasize that fatigue and irritation are growing, even among other officers loyal to the Kremlin. Putin continues to demand maximum goals and believes in victory by attrition, despite colossal losses. The generals don't understand the point of continuing offensive operations that are ineffective and claiming the lives of thousands of soldiers daily. The Kremlin's refusal to negotiate and any attempts to discuss a diplomatic solution are causing confusion even within the general staff. According to Ivashov, the gap between professional military personnel and the Kremlin elite has become obvious. The former are forced to bear responsibility for failures at the front, while the latter continue to advance their careers and grow rich amid the war. Ivashov served as a senior aide to the country's defense minister and as the ministry's chief of general affairs before the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. He held other high-ranking military posts and commands before retiring, or some say forced to retire by Putin in 2001. Functions he carried out at the time included numerous negotiations with NATO and the US military. Ivashov has since looked upon Putin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine as a serious blunder that would harm Russia inside and out. Given his previous positions, many see his viewpoint as serious and not motivated by political or personal agendas. Domestically, he predicted a prolonged war would weaken the economy and aggravate an already looming demographic crisis. In the international arena, he warned it would lose friends for Russia and risk war with NATO. His predictions have proven to be brutally accurate. Ivashov has since blamed Putin for risking the final destruction of Russian statehood and the extermination of the indigenous population of the country. Despite the Kremlin's usually merciless repression of any expressions of dissent, Ivashov has since continued to criticize the invasion publicly.